Hello everyone, I'm Tian Peng and welcome back to Pryce Tea. As you know, the Mid-Autumn Festival is around the corner, and this year, Pryce Tea is very happy to be back at Takashimaya's Mid-Autumn Festive Celebration, happening from now to the 21st of September. Now, this year our booth is located at Basement 1, near to the Nespresso counter. If you are coming out from Basement 2 via the escalator, you should be able to find us quite easily. And this year we are bringing many things with us to Takashimaya, with 2 brand new creation of gift sets and 10 brand new teas. Now, out of the 10 brand new teas, 4 of them will be going to our brand new Pewter edition of teas, and then 4 will be added to our Shanghai Tisan's collection, leaving the remaining 2 that will be added to our Tai Cha Collection. So as you know, the Tai Cha Collection was introduced last year, and it has since won multiple UK Great Taste Awards, with 2 stars going to the Muscat Oolong and 1 star going to the Beauty of Orient. Now, aside from both of these teas being organic, they are also autumn flush teas. And another very good, very well received autumn flush tea that we introduced just this past Chinese New Year is our autumn flush Lishan Oolong. We were so encouraged by the response from our customers that we decided that this mid-autumn we will be introduce the spring flush Lishan Oolong. So many customers will ask, hey Tian Peng, so if that's the case, what's the difference I can expect between the spring flush and the autumn flush Lishan Oolong? Well, first of all, due to temperature and climate and seasonality, the Lishan Oolong, the spring flush Lishan Oolong is a lot smaller in leaf size in comparison to the autumn flush Oolong. The reason is because at the earlier part of the year, there will be lesser sunshine, and because the teas are grown at altitudes at about 2,000 to 2,500 meters above sea level, the clouds are usually cushioning around the tea bushes, blocking them from the sun rays. However, this also allows the teas to grow a little bit slower, and hence develop its heightened notes of florals with magnolia, orchids, and peony. These 3 flavors are very interesting, very heightened. You don't get them in the autumn flush teas, and yet they are also sugary sweet. This flowery, sugary sweet flavor profile is very characteristic of Gao Leng cha in Taiwan. So today we will not be sharing too much about Lishan Oolong because we have already introduced that during Chinese New Year. Today we will be brewing Yu Ling. So Yu Ling is our brand new creation added into the Tai Cha series, and this is also a spring flush tea, and there is a similarity between Yu Ling and Lishan Oolong. The key similarity is in their growing regions. So both Lishan Oolong and Yu Ling are grown on mountainous regions that are at the northern peak of Nantou, in between the intersection of Taichung, Nantou, and Hualien. So around these regions, mountains can grow up to 1,800 to 2,800 meters above sea level. So with Lishan grown at 2,000 to 2,500 meters above sea level, Yu Ling grows at 2,800 meters above sea level. So it's very interesting and very distinct, and I shall share a little bit more as we brew the tea, as we go along and brew the teas now. So I already brought out some of the Yu Ling Oolong cha, and you can see the leaves here. They are dark emerald green in color, very neatly finished, and the leaf size are also very small. So say for example, in this leaf size itself, I think there's about 2 leaves in this bud itself, and it's only about 6 to 7 mm. So it's really small. And today, as we are brewing this tea, we'll be using a tea set with a Gai Wan Gong Tao Bei and 2 Piming Bei. So let's use and start brewing the tea. Let's take a look at the leaves first. So you can smell the floral aromas coming through from this tea. And one very interesting thing about this growing region is that they are very popular for their apples. These apples are very small, but they're very sugary sweet, very fruity, very crisp in its flavor. So let's start brewing. So before we brew, we are going to warm up our wares with a little bit of hot water. Okay. This helps to ensure that we are bringing our wares to temperature, and that temperature of the wares do not interfere with the tea's infusion. Okay. Okay, to brew the tea, we'll be using about 8 grams of tea into the kaiwan. That's about 3 scoops. So that's 1, 2, and 3. Okay. Let's give this leaf a quick rinse. So when we rinse the tea, basically we are trying to let the leaves begin to unfold to release its flavor. We don't really want it to be too long. We just dispense it out here. Very nice cup color already, light golden color. Okay. Let's give this a quick nose. So you can really smell the floral notes coming through, very light in color. Okay, let's start the infusion. Very gentle, very smooth fragrance. Very nice fragrance. So this is the first infusion. You can see a very nice cup color, greenish golden infusion. Very beautiful, very clear. Okay, let's give this a try. So on the nose, you can really get sweet floral notes of peony, orchids, a little bit of magnolia, around the middle and the side of the tongue. I can really nose the slight custardy notes, very bright, very soft, very still a little bit light because this is the first brew, but very smooth, very refreshing. So I'm going to save the first one so that because the first cup is really so good, so let's see what it has to offer in the subsequent brews to come. Okay, so let's pour this away, and now let's start with our second brew. So a very interesting thing about how these teas are harvested, not only are they harvested at such high altitudes between 2,500 to 2,800 meters above sea level for Yu Ling. So it's a very mountainous terrain. The hills are very steep and hilly. So the farmers are really basically very experienced. They really know how to manage the hilly slopes while plucking and putting the leaves into their baskets. So this is really a labor of love. Okay, so this is the second infusion. You will find that it's very clear, greenish in color, darker of course than the first brew that we have, because the teas are beginning to unfold. For these teas, I feel that you can go up to 5 to 6 brews. In fact, when I was curating this tea, we also tried cold brews. So we just put a few leaves into a bottle, and then I just drank it for the whole day. It was so nice. It was so relaxing. It perfumes my breath so beautifully, you know. So let's try this tea. So aside from managing the mountainous hilly slopes, the farmers also have a trick under their sleeves. Unlike the tea farmers in China, where they pluck or their leaves using their fingers, of course, with a very simple thumb and index finger twist, in Taiwan they actually basically bend razor blades to their fingers, index fingers, and that helps them to snip off the leaves from the tea bushes very neatly and cleanly, and this helps with the whole withering process of the teas, retaining the nutrients and flavors within the leaves. This is a very special technique in Taiwan, and this is one of the reasons why some of this Gao Leng Oolong cha are so special and so distinct in their nature. Okay. So the custody sweet floral aroma is coming through very beautifully. It's very addictive. So I think this is a flavor that that I really wouldn't mind enjoying every part of the day. So let's now go to the next brew. Okay. So this will be our fourth, and you can actually begin to see, before I add water, you can actually begin to see that the leaves have unfurled and have blossomed up, bloomed. Basically, in this form factor, you can actually see that the leaves are actually very small in size, very tightly rolled. So imagine how much tea we added earlier. It was just not a lot. It's just 8 grams of tea, but they can unfurl into a full-size cup. Okay, so now let's dispense the tea. And you don't have to use a Taiwan at home, even if you are using a teapot. If you have an infuser of some sort, just maybe remove the infuser after each brew so that you get to enjoy the nuances at each brew cycle. Okay, let's try the tea. So the teas basically, because Lishan Oolong and Yu Ling, they are grown at such high altitudes. Really what the farmers want to do and the artisans really want to capture is to capture the Gao Leng way. Now just now I mentioned this term Gao Leng in many parts of my episodes today. Gao Leng is actually a classification for teas grown anywhere between 2,000 meters above sea level. So, but however, there are also teas like Peng cha. So Peng cha would be basically your teas like Dongting Oolong, Siji Oolong. So those are classified as Peng cha. And Peng cha, usually the harvest will come maybe around April. So mid-April to late April. Usually those are the time periods that you will be able to harvest those teas. No, the reason is also because that of the lower terroirs, there's a warmer sunshine, the teas grow a little bit faster, therefore the harvest is a little bit earlier. So then you have Kaohsiung Oolong, and Kaohsiung Oolong is a term that is very familiar for many consumers. And Kaohsiung Oolong typically relates to teas like Alishan Oolong or Shanxi Oolong. So these teas typically grow about 1,500 to 1,700 meters above sea levels, thereabouts. And the harvest period is usually also around late April, early May, thereabouts. Not very late. For Lishan Oolong, it goes a little bit later. So this tea was only produced around mid-May to late May. And for Yu Ling, it was around I think it was ready about late May to early June. So these teas are really fresh spring flush teas. And for Lishan Oolong and Yu Ling, we were only able to secure 10 kilos each. So we're very happy to be presenting them in the Tai Cha series. So let's now taste the fourth infusion. Crisp floral notes, magnolia, orchids, peony. So those are the distinct flavors. Sugary sweet, minty light freshness to the palate. It's not like a mint leaf herbal tea, but there is a minty freshness to the palate that is very refreshing. So this tea is something I think you can enjoy. You can pair this over Mid-Autumn if you're pairing this with mooncakes, think this will go very well with the snow skin mooncakes. Very light flavor, not the durian mooncakes which are very strong. So to pair this with light flavor mooncakes, I think this would be delicious. So now let me compare and contrast with the first brew that I had. You can really see the linearity of how the flavor developed, and I think at this fourth brew I can easily go up to 6 or 7, no problem with that, because at this time the tea packs a punch in terms of flavor, and we have not seen its flavor profile as it starts to plateau, where we get flavor notes at 2 parts of the normal curve being different. So it's very interesting flavor that you can get. So with that, Yu Ling and Oolong are both available in our current pop-up at Takashimaya. Just to recap, our booth is located at basement 1 near the Nespresso counter. If you are coming up from basement 2 via the escalator, you should be able to find us quite easily. We look forward to seeing you at Takashimaya from now to September 21st. And if you have any questions of our teas, or would like to explore some new flavors, especially those that we have in Shanghai Tisans, please do drop by. We would love to share them with you. We look forward to sharing more with you in a future episode. Thank you so much for watching. Goodbye.